Hello, can you hear me? Perfect. Thank you for being a little early. And there's Mr. Schilling. Hello, Mr. Schilling. I went ahead and opened it up a little early, and we already have two individuals already on. Oops. I can't hear you, Mr. Schilling. Here we go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, there's like a bunch of questions you have to answer to get into the meeting.
Oh, I didn't set it up that way. Well, apparently you did well. You got into the meeting.
Yeah, I told you I'd be here.
Make sure you drive safe, though.
I am following my caravan of wacky gypsies.
Oh, Stephanie's saying she didn't have
Who
to
else?
ask any question or answer any questions here.
So Marty, you're gonna like guide us through the agenda, right?
Yes, sir. It looks like we probably have about 5 more minutes here. I do believe that there are 10 families altogether and some students that also.
perfect.
And I see that Mr. Metzner is also signing on. I'll just wait just a few more minutes.
Al, be safe. Be
Yes.
safe.
Yes, I already
You're
told him that as
you're
well.
too important. Be safe, my man.
Hey man, Snow White's got all the automated features, so
Snow White.
my car's name, you know that.
Why would you name your car Snow White
Because it was my mother's favorite Disney character.
Well, that is perfectly acceptable answer. Thank you. All right. Marty, thank you for understanding me earlier. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, anytime. That's a team. And I do see, yep, we have 2, and I'll continue to look to see about inviting other family members on.
Okay.
And I'll just briefly go over the agenda and the purpose, and then Eric, I'll let you go ahead and do your part there in the beginning, and then I'll go ahead and conclude it.
Okay. I'm looking for Lori Ramsey's I Ready, but if I can't find that, I can still speak about it at least. So those parents who have questions can do that. Is that a Sweatland I see in there?
Statistically speaking, it's highly probable.
Highly probable.
That is a Sweatland.
It is so good to see your name. I'm telling you. Where's the hubby?
He's supposed to be getting on here. He is finishing up work right now.
Okay. I'm like, do you give him permission to have another computer source? I see how it is.
He has his own office.
Oh. My wife is asking who's on. So Al Schilling is right here, safely driving and being responsible so they can join us tomorrow at work. This is Dr. Martha or Marty Iovine. She is our assistant principal of all things. This is Stephanie Sweatland, one of the best parents at Lee Virtual. This is my wife, Julie. You can see that's the camera.
I know, I do the same thing.
Hi, Julie.
We're looking at we're looking at the monitor that you're on instead of the camera that we're on right there. But Miss Sweatland is the volunteer of all volunteers, the sweetest lady ever. Gives out.
Makes great cupcakes.
She apparently makes great cupcakes. I can tell you right now, like they're professional level. Like, yeah. I see Miss Barry's joining, and there's Cynthia in the background, and she stopped the video. So how dare you? I see Miss Conway is here. Welcome, and I see Mr. Niceman is here. It's all the truth, Miss Sweatland. You know that. I'd call you Stephanie, but I don't feel like it. That's respectful enough. And yes, I'm wearing headphones and that.
We're putting the band back together.
What band? Because I play mean drum set, sir. You don't even know.
From the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to dance like Belushi, that's fine, but I'm not doing that. So, anyway. Let me close that so that it just shows Leave Virtual. I am recording the meeting here. I don't know if the meeting is being recorded in the cloud, but I'll make sure that it is.
Awesome. Do we let everybody in? It's just about time to start.
So far, everybody's in. Look at the time. We've got about one more minute. I was going to see if somebody else was going to join us, and then I'll go ahead and start.
Let's see.
Yeah, Eric, make sure we remember to say, don't let this like expire in the cloud. We got to save it so we have the minutes.
I have my cloud set to not expire in 30 days, sir.
Cool.
Well, I'll continue to also look at the participants and invite individuals that are logging on, but it is 5 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and begin with our meeting. As Eric was so kindly to introduce me a little early here, but I'm Marty Iovine. I am the new assistant principal here at Lee Virtual School, and we also have our other assistant principal joining us as well, Meredith Berry. So you have our administrative team here with you tonight. You've got, of course, our principal that is safely driving back into town, Mr. Schilling. But I welcome everyone to our school advisory meeting, as well as an informational night that we will always be sharing something that is going on with our school, advising all our stakeholders with either our enrollment, our vision, our mission, our goals for the year, but also keep you informed of what's happening here with our students and with their achievements. One of the big things tonight, since school has started, is making sure that our membership, our selection of our advisory council, that we discuss that and nominate somebody that can assist us in moving forward throughout the year and advising other parents. We also have student representatives that will also be sharing our mission throughout the year. I believe last year, since I wasn't here, and Mr. Schilling or Ms. Berry, please feel free to jump in. I believe last year we had our school advisory chair, I believe was it Miss Sweatland? Were you our
Mrs. Swellen and Mrs. Conway, I believe, were co-chairs.
Okay, co-chairs.
Last year or the year before, but yes.
Okay,
so
that's one of the things on the agenda, is looking for a chairperson for our school as well as the district chairperson that would go to the meetings. Part of this advisory too tonight, last year it was done, I believe, monthly. One thing that I would like to address from the feedback that I've received from other schools as well, and because of the pandemic and what's going on, this would continue through Zoom, through virtual meetings, and to be done quarterly instead of monthly. So this would be our quarter one. And then we look at a date for quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 that kind of align with what the district already has in place with their district advisory. Maybe if we could have individuals chime in right in the chat box if you would like to follow that lead and do these SAC meetings on a quarterly basis. You can go ahead and unmute if you want to say something or add something to the chat box.
That's what I was going to say. If you want to unmute, you should be able to.
I put in the chat box, I'd be willing to chair SAC, and Shauna had said that she would be willing to co-chair.
Thank you.
I think between the two of them, they're going for some sort of record.
What is this? This will be year 9?
More total years of SAC chairs than anybody at any other school. But
This is
so
my-
I guess that's like, let's do that as like there's a motion for Mrs. Conway and Mrs. Swetland to
Second.
be co-chairs. Okay, discuss.
We do have a
Anybody? Do we have
second.
any discussion on it? I mean, if somebody out there's like dying to do it, please speak up. We have kind of a open forum here.
I don't know, I see a beautiful dog here on the chat box too.
Yeah, I can see that Mr. Swetland did everything he could to style his hair nicely tonight. So thank you, sir.
All right, so seeing as there's no discussion, all those in favor of the Conway-Swetland combination again? Aye.
Aye.
Or indicating,
Aye.
you have- all right,
I've
all
got
right,
it.
they're in charge.
On the second part of the agenda then, since we already have our chairpersons, are we all in favor then of quarterly advisory meetings instead of monthly?
Okay,
I
any
think that's-
discussion on that? Put it in the chat box or open up your mic.
I believe that quarterly school advisory council or
Yes.
committee meetings are standard, and that standard would be beneficial for us. So I would agree with
Okay.
that.
So far, I've got 3, 4, 5.
Anybody opposed to that? Boy,
Okay.
we're like rocking through this stuff. All right, quarterly meeting.
Okay. If we go with what the district has with their DAC,
Sorry.
our next meeting then would be October 21st for quarter 2.
I'm fine
Okay.
with that. The only thing I just want to bring up, and I think Marty, I don't know if it's made it onto the agenda or not, is we may have to have a meeting just to be able to have a quorum before that, because there's a name for it, but it's like the teacher lead money. Any of it that was left over from last year, it goes to the SAC, and the SAC has to like decide what they're going to do with it. So whether we do it at that meeting or before, that's just the only thing I wanted to put out there.
Okay, that, yes, with the remaining funds review and approval, with that will come out, and it usually comes out the beginning of October, and we'd have to vote on that by November. So October 21st, I believe, would work out. But if we need to change it, then definitely will, but we'll stick to October 21st right now for the second one.
Okay.
Great. Well, Mr. Metzner, if
Yes,
you
ma'am.
would go ahead and share with
Well,
us.
I was going to ask, is there any old business or new business for SAC that needs to be discussed? I don't know. And I know I might be putting people on the spot, and I apologize for that. Nothing? Okay. So, am I giving the all clear to go into progress monitoring for next week then?
Yeah, that's, I'm good with that. Just thank you again to everyone for being on here. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,400 students right now. We have an incredibly strong start. It wasn't without hiccups, but thank you all for your continued support and assistance. I really appreciate it.
Okay. It would seem that progress monitoring for iReady is a bit of a concern for some parents, but it really shouldn't be. It's designated as a diagnostic tool to help to assist in gaining a good understanding about where a child might be on reading fluency and on math fluency. It's not necessarily an assessment like a gotcha moment or let's give them a test right off the bat. Instead, it's more of a let's see what we can do to help in areas where they might need improvement and to not necessarily give them heavy instruction on areas where they might not need it, where they excel. So the iReady is set up in such a way that it's almost a gamification, if you were, of making reading and math kind of fun. And the dashboard itself for the students is quite interactive. What we see as teachers, and I can share the teacher portion of it, and I can also share a little bit of the iReady progress monitoring. I'm sorry, the iReady images. But I would ask if Miss Berry, because I know you have been through this several times, Dr. Iovine as well, Mr. Schilling, anyone that has experience with this, and also from the parents who have experience going through iReady with your children, how that's come about for you while I set up this screen share, which will take me just a few moments.
So thanks, Mr. Metzner. Do any parents have like any specific concerns you want to express? So if there's something we need to like spend time on, we do. Otherwise, we're gonna kind of just give you the mile high overview.
Hi, Miss Conway.
And Ms. Conway, you're going to unmute.
Oh,
There we go.
how about now? Is that better?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, good. I just have a general question. We've always done the iReady, no problem. It's been fine. Is there any way for students that score at or above a certain level for their requirements to be less for the weekly minutes, or is that just straight across the board? That would be my only question.
May I ask what unless someone else knows specifically, what
Yeah,
exactly do you mean? Yeah.
So they would still, even if either of your sons scores like above, at or above their level, the program is designed to keep making them reach. So
Okay.
the
Reach that
idea
goal,
is
their
that
annual goal.
if they're spending about approximately 10 minutes, and for some students it might be a little bit less than that, for some students it might be a little bit more, but if they're spending that time on it each week, they'll be meeting the requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
So even for the above level readers, there is a limit that can be reached. There is like a 12th grade, whatever million Lexile score that a student can reach. It has happened.
We're not
but
there
it's
yet.
It's designed to make them continue to reach higher.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, remember with the progress monitoring, they're not receiving a grade, but it's for us, for the student also to be able to see where they're at and what areas they can improve on. So they're monitoring and they're tracking their growth, so they can achieve, and that's that annual goal. But then there's also that stretch goal where they can push themselves to even achieve even higher.
So at the elementary level, it's built in, so there really isn't any sort of grade. At the middle school, and in the event that a high school student has to be put into a reading class for whatever reason, so that they don't just do it and not get any credit, we do attach it to a research class so that they do get an elective credit. It more than likely is an A or F situation, to where as long as they put the time in and do the baseline, everything, that's what's expected. It isn't based on, well, if they're reading at this level, we're giving them this grade. If they're reading at that level, we're giving them that grade. It's purely participatory in attending, you know, their lessons in iReady. So we're giving them something.
Thank you.
Okay, so at this point, I do want to cover a little bit of what the teachers see and what the students see. And I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can also share in this lovely opportunity. Let me get over to the proper area here and share sound in case there is any sound. And hopefully, if I did this correctly, I apologize for the wait. There we go. I'm not seeing it, so let me confirm with me if you see like a chart.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. So this particular chart is what the teachers would see for different units in iReady. So there's a pathway for iReady, and that pathway is exactly what it sounds like. It's step by step through the process of just gaining some access and some information about how a student's fluency is on levels of reading and writing, reading and math that would be commensurate with their grade levels. So the teachers are set, and the math teachers in the ELA, which is English Language Arts, those teachers are set and prepared to monitor those things when they actually occur. And what I mean by monitoring is there are specific dates during which the students will be supervised by teachers. I'm one of them. I'm sure there's a couple more that are here, who are here, that will monitor your children as they finish their actual iReady diagnostic. And by finish, I mean that. iReady is set up to assess. It's not set up to grade, like was said earlier. There's no grading for this. There's no assignment grade. It's more about establishing some baselines to gather information about your child's efficacy, whether they're doing really well in one area of reading and writing, or reading and math, or they need a little bit of improvement or support in other areas of reading or math. So that's what this chart shows. I pulled up a couple of screenshots as well. So this next screen should say teacher assigned in my path. Is that what you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So typically on iReady, when the student signs on, where it says student at the top center there, it would say their name, and then there are coins that they can actually accrue or earn during the time that they're on iReady. Those coins can be used to customize their avatar, change their theme. They actually get a little bit of a benefit or reward from actually completing units and moving ahead in their pathway. It's actually, that's part of the fun of this iReady program, is it gives that customization, and that's part of the gamifying or gamification of the program. Some of the other things that they'll see as well, like you can see this student accrued 2,050 coins, and in my experience that's quite a bit to change your avatar, to change your background, as you can see with this little monster dude in the back. But then it also shows the teacher where they are, so the lessons that are assigned, and then the student's path individually. So it tracks what they do and what they complete along the way. So is there a diagnostic that's actually monitored? Yes. Is there a continuation of what iReady provides? Yes. That continues throughout the quarter, throughout the semester, and the students and teachers will actually communicate about what they've completed and how they can benefit from that diagnostic. Does that make sense?
Can I just jump in on something
Mhm.
really quick?
Sure.
Great job here. One thing I want to point out also is if you look over to the left of the screen, where it says teacher assigned, the teachers are always monitoring, but where you see that yellow and that little triangle, that is indicating that's an alert. And that indicates not only to the teacher, but the student will also see that, and that shows that alert that let's slow down, let's go back, that you struggled during this, or it's past due and maybe you don't understand it. So that will also assist the teacher as well as the student who haven't mastered this. Let's review.
That's a great point as well. So we want to keep the students in an area where they're not having these past dues because that raises their stress level. And if they're stressing about their iReady, they're really focusing on the wrong things. And maybe the learning guides that are with them, if it's on the elementary level, even the middle school or high school level. And when I say learning guides, I mean parents, of course, or the people who you feel are responsible enough to help out with your children's growth academically. So we want to keep those, and instead of having their past dues, we want to make them feel like they're accomplishing. And that's what those coins help do. The badges and the customizations help them realize that they're moving forward. And I know that sounds a little bit like I'm pandering, but it actually makes sense because the students get a little bit of justification and gratification from what they're doing. And in the same time, we get a chance to see how they're doing. And this is, yeah, this is another screen that'll show the student their completed work percentages. And then it also shows the diagnostic that's there, so it gives a score. The biggest thing I want to stress is that the score means nothing as far as grading goes. That score is put up against different standards that are both international and national level standards of reading fluency and math fluency, and those standards are separated out and they're very, very detailed. So that score, trying to interpret it, is not going to help a whole lot. They're going to say, well, is 630 good? I don't know. Did I do well? And we really don't know. What we do know is we get an idea about where they are as far as how well they comprehended the content that they saw and interacted with. Does that make sense? Okay. And if I'm overstepping or saying something incorrect, please, I would encourage an admin to say something for us. While Mr. Schilling shows off that amazing background.
I think kind of I'm at my son's new apartment building. I think like the big picture of it is it's really you can see their scores in your focus portal, but just to be able to see what level your child is at, are they increasing, decreasing, staying the same? And it's just a knowledge thing. It's not like we reinforce. It's not like they're being graded or we're putting any sort of label on them. So I think that's kind of the big thing. Does anybody? I mean, if you have like some specific questions, rather than really going through all, we can kind of walk everybody through what to see. And then, it's exciting, riveting material.
I like iReady. I don't know about you guys. I like it because it does give that gaming kind of feel to it. So,
I
yeah,
like it as well.
I really do. The kids
As a
seem to
former
like it.
teacher, and even as a grandmother, my granddaughter loves it. If she loves it, I'm all for it.
So we're going to have to talk about all those medals in the background there in just a few minutes, but I wanted to know if there's any other questions about iReady. Chat, or you can unmute if you would like. Thank you, Miss Conway.
Job presenting that.
Hey, that was on the fly. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I prepared everything weeks in advance. I just looked up some images because I know what the iReady interface looks like, and I wanted to present something that was comparable to what your children will see.
No, and I'm certain also that your teachers have also gone through it with your child. They receive that teacher toolkit where it really individualizes the instruction. So for the entire class is one thing, but that pathway where it's specific to your child, to the student, and what they need and what they're learning so they can be successful.
I mean, I know this is riveting to use that term, but I can still show you more stuff. I'm going through the iReady. The teacher side is boring. I'm not going to say that it's exciting. It's not. But it does give us a good indication about what we can do to help in different areas, and it's very targeted for the students. So That's the other part of it. I love how specific. I don't know what that was. How specific the detailing is for the reading fluency and the math level fluency. It's very specific.
Thank you, Mr. Schoen.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna have to jump off here and
Okay.
muscles
Drive
to work. But thank you. Talk to you guys later.
All right, sir. It's been 22 minutes. Unless there's other questions, I want to get to those medals on the wall. What? Listen, I edit these videos, so no worries, okay?
I was gonna Zoom from the office, but I got home and yeah, so now you see my medals here.
There are quite a few, ma'am. So many so that they're bunched together as if they're huddling for the winter in hibernation status. So may we know what those are, or is it too personal?
Those are, I like to run. I'm not running right now, but I do have a race coming up in November that hopefully they won't cancel, and I'll be doing that. So I have lots of energy, and that's how I get my energy out, by running.
Question.
Am I ready?
I have a question for you. So, how would another staff member, I don't know, someone that might like, walks or whatever, participate in these medal earning events?
Well, you'd start off with, training, of course, but you'd start off with a 5K, and you can walk a 5K.
Start off with a 5K?
Yes.
Isn't that like a little over 3 miles? Like 3.3?
3.1.
3.1? Okay, excuse my math. Apparently I need to do some iReady in the middle area. 3.1 miles. Okay. Thank you, Jimmy Carter, for the standardization of our measurement system. So, 5K.
Yeah, I do see there are virtual events. Yes. The virtual ones as well. Yes.
So, how do you do a wait? Mrs. Conway, if it's Mrs., I'm sorry. How do you do or complete or compete? Yeah, you can smile all you want. I see that. How do you compete? And is it competition, by the way? But how do you participate virtually in a 5K?
You actually still have to do it, which is unfortunate, but no. You just sign up. They have all kinds of virtual ones that what it just means is that you can do it at your own leisure. You can do it whenever, wherever, and then you submit your time, and then they'll send you a medal. Once you say, you either have to submit like time from your watch or whatever, and then they'll send you a medal.
So
it's virtual, and that they're not like meeting and congregating at a start line. That's why it's virtual.
I've done some virtual ones too.
I have
you
not
have
done
to
nearly as many as you have.
Okay, so do you, oh, I see what's going on now. So do you have to like are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Oh, we have one.
Impressive.
This is 1 in 4. It says forever in my heart. Sorry, let me take off the I like the backgrounds. Don't get me wrong, because you saw the box in the background for mine, and it looks like I live in, squalor, but I don't. Yeah, hold on, I'm sorry. Like I said, don't. It says Chewy because we take care of our pup. But anyway, yeah, this one says forever in my heart. There's the medal. It's very heavy, by the way. And there's a candle that fits right there. And what's it for, my dear? Pregnancy and infant loss awareness, since we lost a baby before it was born. So yeah, So that was one of the events that my wife participated in, and she's in the background now. So I just want to let her know that out loud, so she knows that she's on screen. So yeah. So do you have to like record yourself and send that, or just tell them your distance? Like, what do you do?
Go ahead.
Just your
Shauna.
time. No, that's okay. I was gonna say just your time. You track your own distance and then submit it with your time. And they send you a fancy little medal.
I walk a lot at school. Not gonna front. Miss Dr. Iovine could say
Attest to
yes.
that.
I've seen. I don't know, like all day long, but it's not like that. It needs to be an actual event-esque kind of thing, right?
Well, who knows? Maybe we can talk about that even at one of our next meetings,
Okay.
and with getting some of our kids even involved with our clubs and our activities, and
Yes. Oh,
in a race.
I'm glad you brought that
Maybe
up.
doing like a fun run, maybe even doing something even virtually where they have to submit, and we can have medals and do, a virtual ceremony, and we can talk about this.
Please, yeah. I was
That's
gonna
also a
say,
part of this advisory council too. Yes, we talk about academics, but it's a school. So it's the school advisory council that we talk about things that we can do here within our school, within our district to help our students achieve.
Mrs. Sweatland, do you know if any of the children are interested in maybe championing some of these events like that? Do they have interests of clubs that they would like to be a part of, or maybe even possibly lead?
I don't know. I can talk to them and ask and see what they would like. I know one of Shauna's boys does the, what is that called, Shauna? The drones. That's what I was trying to think.
Gaming
Yeah.
club.
I know there was a drone club last year, but I don't, or the year before last, but I don't know who ran it.
The drone was after.
You're breaking up. I don't know. I didn't hear
Oh, there
most
we
of
go,
that.
Dr. L. Dr. L and Mr. McKinley.
Of course, Mr. McKinley would do that. And of course, Dr. Lefkowitz would do that. That makes total sense. And that's so cute. Oh my gosh. Cuteness overload going on over here. Look at this. See what happens? Thanks a lot. See what happens? All right. See, this is what virtual school should be about also. So, all right. Unless there's anything else, I was way off topic, but I wanted to end the meeting on a
Nope.
very positive note.
That is a positive note, and that's also part of communication and different things. Yes, we talked about the progress monitoring. We did our election here, our verification as far as the membership. But moving forward, this is part of the advisory council also is advising us here at the school some things, your beliefs as far as what the students or even the parents, how you want this to move forward, some ideas, suggestions that you might have for us that we can make it happen. So I will go ahead and close out then. If there are no other questions or comments on tonight's meeting, our next meeting then will be October 21st. I'll make sure that that is indicated on our minutes. And we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 5:31. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Mr. Metzner, also for your presentation. A great job on progress monitoring for quarter one. Good night. Nice meeting all of you.